Hey everyone, and welcome. Ever feel like you're staring at a page trying to make your writing sound more, well, academic? You are totally in the right place. Today, we're going to break down 5 awesome academic words that will seriously level up your essays and research papers, like right away. So, are you ready to upgrade your academic writing? Because that's exactly what we're about to do. We're going to hand you the tools you need to talk about those big, complex ideas with way more clarity and, honestly, a lot more confidence. Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about why this is even a challenge. Then we'll dive into our 5 keywords. After that, I'll give you a solid strategy for building your vocabulary. And we'll wrap up by talking about how to put it all into practice. Sound good? All right, section 1, the academic writing challenge. And let's be real, it is a challenge, right? Moving from how we normally talk to this super formal academic style, it can be tough. Trying to find words that sound professional but are also super precise. It's a huge hurdle for so many people, so trust me, you are not alone in this. So think of our time together today as us building your academic toolkit. Seriously, we're not just memorizing words, we're adding some top-notch, really flexible tools to your writing toolbox that you can pull out and use over and over again. And now for the main event. 5 essential academic words. And yeah, think of these as your new power tools for writing. These are the big ones. They're common, they're crucial, and getting a handle on them is going to make a huge, immediate difference in your work. Okay, word number 1 is salient. All this means is the most important or the most noticeable point. It's an absolutely fantastic word for when you need to grab your reader and say, hey, look at this specific detail. So in a super simple sentence, you could just say, this is a salient point. Boom. It's direct, it's effective, and it's like a little flag telling your reader, pay attention, this part matters. But of course, you can get way more sophisticated. Using salient is kind of like holding up a magnifying glass. It lets you cut through all the other information and zoom right in, forcing a reader to focus on the one critical factor or feature or finding that you want to highlight. All right, next up we have significant. Now, this one's a bit of a two-for-one. It can just mean important, sure, but in the world of research, it usually has a more specific meaning, that a result is statistically meaningful. In other words, it didn't just happen by random chance. A really common and powerful way to use it is just to state flat out, the results are significant. That single sentence tells your reader that what you found is legit and has real meaning. And this is so important when you're dealing with data. You could use it to talk about a significant difference between two groups or a significant relationship between two things you measured. And here's a pro tip. If you really want to sound like you know your stuff, saying the results are statistically significant adds an extra layer of precision and credibility. Word number 3 is implication. This is your so what word. You use it when you're talking about the possible effects or results of your research. It's all about answering the question, okay, we found this. What does it actually mean for the real world? And here's a great little trick for your essays. When you're ready to start your conclusion, just write, this has important implications. It's the perfect way to signal to your reader, get ready, I'm about to tell you why all of this really matters. And you can see here how you can play with the scope of it. You could start really broad, like talking about implications for education in general. Then you can narrow it down to something more specific, like implications for student well-being. Or you can go even bigger and connect your findings to broader implications for policy. See how versatile it is? Okay, word number 4, correlation. You're going to see this one everywhere. It just means there's a relationship or a connection between two things. But, and this is super, super important, it does not mean that one thing caused the other. They just happen to be linked somehow. At its most basic, you can just say there is a correlation. It's a simple, clean way to introduce the idea that two things you're looking at are connected. Let's look at how it works in practice. You can talk about a correlation between stress and sleep, for example. You can also add adjectives to make it more specific, like a strong correlation, or even describe the direction, like a positive correlation, whereas one thing goes up, the other goes up too. And our final word for today is evaluate. This is a big action word. When you evaluate something, you're not just describing it. You're examining it carefully, you're weighing the evidence, and you're making a judgment about how good it is, how successful it is, or what its overall quality is. A really straightforward way to use it is just to say, the study evaluates the results. That tells your reader right away that the whole point of the research was to judge the outcome of something. So evaluate is really about weighing the pros and cons, like you're putting things on a scale. You could evaluate a program to see if it worked, or evaluate different learning methods to see which is best. In a lit review, you might evaluate all the existing research to figure out what we still don't know.
Okay, so now you have these 5 fantastic words. But what's next? How do you keep this momentum going? Well, you need a strategy. It's not about memorizing a dictionary. It's about being smart and active in how you learn.
And here it is, a simple 4-step plan. First, just learn one word at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. Second, and this is key, write your own sentences. Start simple, then make them more complex, just like we did. Third, you gotta read. Read academic stuff all the time. And hey, here's a little modern hack for you. You can totally use AI tools to create practice sentences to help you get the hang of a new word. All right, let's bring it all home. We're going to put this into practice, and I'll give you some final advice to make sure all of this really sticks and helps you become a better writer. So, what are the big takeaways here? Look, it's not about just memorizing words. It's about using them. It's a process. Practice, read, and always focus on being clear and precise. That's what really separates good writing from great academic writing. And that's a wrap. So I'll leave you with this one last question. Which of these words are you going to practice first? Seriously, think about it. Salient? Significant? Pick one and start using it today. The first step is all yours.